Obviously very, very pleased with the result. Again, I kind of feel like this week was very similar to last week in many ways. Incredible work rate by the guys, incredible that they stick together, incredible that they come back from 2 goals down. The effort and all those things are fantastic. I still think that we've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of improvement to make, and so we cannot kind of let this result take us to a place where we start to feel comfortable. We have to improve. 100%. 100%. I think it's emotional for me because I care so deeply. And I think if you go through the locker room and ask the players, I think they all feel the same way. I think we want to win in the absolute worst way. And we've all worked so incredibly hard to put the team together from a starting point, from the preseason work to the organization week in and week out. Every single day that we put into this is we put our hearts and souls into it. So to see us kind of go two goals down was devastating. And then to come back from it, you kind of you feel like you've been to hell and brought back out to heaven. So happy with the result, but not so happy with the performance. Yeah, I think we need to bundle up all the positivity from the performance. Again, just the efforts and the commitment and the work rate and all those things, and we need to remember that, put that in our pocket, because that could be really useful for us as the season goes along. But then we also have to be humble and know that we need to improve. We need to make some improvements. That we're more, I think, from front to back, a more together team. We just get very stretched out. So a lot of work to be done. But again, we have to be happy that we've got two wins in a row. That's what it takes. It takes winning streaks in this league to make the playoffs. This season. Boy, there are reporters have a negative way of spinning everything today. I guess you feel a little bit like I do. Yeah, I can't really explain it. I can explain this though. I thought today we started out really well. This was the first home game, in my opinion, that we really started out well. We were all over them in the opening stages of the game, and I think the difference there from tonight being a really successful night and being a night that we had to struggle was scoring that goal in the first 15 minutes. I think if we reward ourselves by scoring a goal at that moment where we're really on top of them, then I think the whole night looks completely different. And so we've been trying to zero in and why we seem to be starting slow at home and improving there. And I don't know that I know the answer. For me, it's just getting the guys ready, getting them pumped, and at the end of the day, they play the games. So what they're doing in the locker room, what they're doing on the field before the game to make sure they're ready to go needs to improve. But tonight I think we saw improvement, we just didn't see a goal. Yeah, again, and a different way to say this is, I said earlier how happy I'm with commitment and togetherness and work rate and all that stuff. I think we have to be really happy with character, the character of the group, the character of the individual players that don't give up and continue to fight. And that was a big piece that we were looking for going into the offseason, was to try to improve that facet. And I think we're showing some signs that we've done that. Yeah, I think right now it's a little bit of collective games. It's not necessarily about this game. It's about the fact that now 5 matches, we've given up the first goal in every match, and that wears on you. That wears on you for sure. Kind of feel like here we go again, and it's going to be a night where we're going to have to fight from behind again, and that does take a mental toll. So the answer to me is, okay, let's stop giving the first goal away. Let's get the first one in one of these games and move forward from there, because clearly we've shown we can come from behind. Let's see what we can do when we're ahead. Yeah, it's never say die attitude with him, and I thought Stefano was very similar with his performance, coming on and just running wherever it took and giving everything he had. So absolutely, I think that those, Chris in particular and Stefano as well. RJ came on, I think gave a really positive work and put himself in a really positive place as well. Super happy, because I think it's been coming for a while. I think he's put himself in some fantastic positions, and he's been really unlucky not to have a goal already. So to have him score it now in this kind of game, that kind of comeback, I think says a lot for him and about him. That's one of those things I think as a coach you want to stay away from. I think I would prefer to let our actions speak, and so I would say talk to me after the next game and we'll see. Yeah, absolutely. Every great team needs a goal scorer. Every great team needs somebody that's going to put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis, and Dom is proving himself to be that for us this year, no doubt. Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. And I think that's, if I put a positive spin on what I said about kind of happy with the result but not happy with the performance, is I see what this team can be. I've seen it. I've seen it in the preseason. I've seen it on the training sessions. We still have another, I think, top player that has yet to play for us. And so I know what the potential is, and maybe that makes me a little more critical than others when I don't see it. But I believe in this group. I think this can be a top team once we get it all together. Yeah, I think for me, I mean, every performance that he's had has been mostly positive. Of course, he's had some moments in some of the games where I thought he struggled a little bit, but all of the players have. Nobody's certainly been perfect, and I think he's representing himself really well for a first-year player. And the challenge will be, where does he go from here, right? He's gotten his goal. Now, what's next? And what's next for the entire season? Because he's a young player, and oftentimes young players struggle with the length of our season, coming off college seasons that are only 3 months long.